a great guest. We have lots to talk about.
Well, we
COVID
do.
surges up.
And listen, our guest today is Steph Frohock from the Flowery, but we'll get to cannabis in a bit. But listen, Steph is a mom with a child in the schools, husband also a physician, right? Up in Virginia, I believe, correct? Somewhere up north?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, I was close. So I know you have your perspective about what's going on in the schools. And listen, Ruta and I were talking about it. Florida's a mess.
It's a mess.
And, you know, here's my mask. We're back in the mask protocols here in the office, even though we're a vaxxed office in general. Right. But, you know, we struggle to get every single person vaxxed, you know.
We do.
And I saw Lane Kiffin this morning, the University of Mississippi football coach, is being lauded for having every single football player on his team vaxxed. So, Steph, I would assume you're vaxxed and your husband is vaxxed. Now, your daughter can't be vaxxed, of course.
Correct, because she's only 5.
Indeed. Tell us what's going on. Did she start school and kindergarten or pre? What's up? And how are you feeling as a mom and you know, everything going through this right now?
So she starts kindergarten in less than 2 weeks. We're super excited. She's actually in a full Spanish immersion program where they don't speak any English in class. It's 100% Spanish. So we're still our Florida roots that we want to make sure our daughter speaks Spanish. So wear a mask at school, which I think, I mean, with little ones, since they can't be vaccinated, as annoying as it is, I think it is the right call. And again, I don't think it should be a political thing. I think it should be a science-based, educated, this is what we do and why we do it, and look at the data. It should not be a political thing, in my opinion. It should be facts and science, and listen to the professionals that have been studying these things and viruses for their entire life, basically, and not what does a news person know.
That's what's been so frustrating. We've said forever, it should have been no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service right from the get-go. And that would have taken the politics out of it. Your husband, Jeff, is well and healthy and doing his thing.
Yep. And he's vaccinated. I mean, you could still get COVID even if you're vaccinated. It's just a lot better. We know quite a few friends that have, but it's a 1 day versus 10 days. And he hasn't seen any hospitalization of people that are vaccinated. The only people that are being hospitalized are unvaccinated people. And this is fact.
You know, it is. And even in Sarasota, I think Dr. Trinchetto, who was wife is the head of nursing there, she said like 99% are the ones that are unvaccinated. There's that are hospitalized.
And the front page article
ICU too, and 176 in ICU.
It's crazy. And the front page article in the Sarasota Herald Tribune talks about the pulmonary physician who has to talk to the families about vaccine regret. And patients literally in the ICU, you know, just saying that they wish they had the vaccine. It's too late, everybody. You have to be proactive and get the vaccine. And, you know, Steph, and Ruta knows this, I've upped my discussion with each and every one of my patients about vaccination. Listen, I'm an alternative healthcare professional, and I recognize that. So some of my patients are going to have alternative healthcare ideas, but I always go back to being an emergency clinician, right? Who has to know what we know by science. And I get so frustrated that so many people take this as science, right? Because they carry it in their pocket, this idiotic supercomputer or whatever the hell it is, you know,
give you whatever you want.
Give you whatever you want.
You don't want to be vaccinated, it's going to give you every argument for it. But the scientists are the scientists, and you know, you have to trust the science, trust the medicine.
And in Florida, listen, Steph, you follow Nikki Fried was our guest last week in the green room, and you know, Nikki was great. And you know, Nikki has continued to be out there literally trying to lead the charge towards science, towards information, you know, and let's face it, Florida is just its own little island here. I saw a funny meme. I think it was Florida getting necrotic and breaking off from the rest of the country.
I think half the country wishes it did.
But listen, we could talk politics all day, but of course, as cannabis goes, and listen, Steph, as I was reading your bio, I was reminded, of course, listen, Steph represents the Flowery, one of Florida's newer MMTC dispensary organizations. I'm thrilled to have you guys in the space, and you'll tell us more about it. But is I reminded myself, you actually come out of the alcohol industry for a number of years, which is such an interesting perspective. So I'm just going to open it up for you, Steph, to kind of, the purpose of the show is just to talk about what's going on in the MMTC world. We have a lot of newer MMTCs. One opened yesterday, Green Dragon, I know over on your coast, over in Broward, right? There's a couple others, but you guys have been around doing your thing. So proud to have you on this morning to let you know, let the viewers know a little bit about how hard it is to knock into this market.
It really is. And we're still slowly growing, but at a very slow pace. And the biggest challenge is actually just getting our name out there. Being the little guy, we just don't have the millions of dollars for advertising and stuff like that, as well as this is a very challenging industry. Liquor had its challenges as well, but this one is even more so because Google and Facebook and Instagram, all of these companies, they say no, it's actually the corporation saying no. So that's a huge challenge as a small business to be able to get your name out there, not having that access. So really, that's been our biggest challenge is not having the budget to be able to get our name out there. So thank you for the opportunity to be on your show and to really be a great resource. You've been so kind to us over the last almost year now, Dr. Gordon. It's been a while.
Listen, we're in a time warp with COVID. I mean, everybody knows really that. And once again, what a challenge for you guys to have to come into the market during COVID at this time. It's a tough time to come into it. So tell us how the Flowery came about, Steph, because I know you guys are veteran and Florida based and all good things. And I know that our viewers really want to know about why you guys are special.
So we are, as far as I know, we're the only ones that got the license that were crazy enough to create the business and not sell it. So in order to get the license, you had to be in the nursery business for 30 years. My family's been in the nursery business for 40 years and growing some sort of agriculture since 1921 in Homestead, which when I started to write our website, I asked my mom to send some family photos. And I said, oh my God, that's crazy, Mom. That's 100 years. So something to be proud of. But I will say I didn't really have the interest that as I thought to be in the nursery business. So I went off and I did my thing and went to FIU, got a business degree, worked for Bacardi. And then I went to a smaller company and I did wine and I grew wine, and really growing is part of my heritage. And as much as I didn't think I wanted to, I still found myself growing wine. So when we got the opportunity to start the Flowery, I kind of came back to the family business, but it really cultured me in a way of learning from other industries, learning from other corporations, how things work, to kind of bring that perspective into the Flowery. The Flowery is something that's very near and dear to my family's heart because I have 3 brothers, and one of them, he was the youngest one. He did 2 tours in Iraq, and he was really the one that wanted to get the license. My other 2 brothers, they have a successful business, and it's a lot of work and a lot of fighting with the state. And so he passed away almost 4 years ago now, or actually, yes, 4 years ago. And when he passed away, it was something that then it turned into we were going to do it for Matt. And so we sued the state of Florida along with 7 other nurseries, and we got the license. And so if we worked that hard for it, we just weren't going to give up and turn around and sell it the next day. So it's been a lot of blood, tears, and a lot of work. I know I said that wrong, but
no, I want to stop there, Steph, because it's the integrity that you guys shown. And first off, my condolences on the passing of your brother. I know I knew that, but there's certain things that you kind of compartmentalize, but it's the integrity. So you guys were Bill's Nursery, yes. Still are, correct?
Well, my brother's nursery has now turned into a different name, but it's the same. But
that's where the original license came from to that extent. But you guys were in that first wave of those that actually did sue the state. But is this true? Or are you not the only ones that kept that license and are actually growing yourselves?
Mm-hmm. And we actually applied the first
integrity.
And we didn't get it the first round. And so that's when we we did it when it was before Charlotte's Web the first time, and then we should have gotten it. And that was part of why we were also upset, because we met all of these criterias and some of the other people got it that shouldn't have. It's politics. I mean, at the
Oh,
end of the
listen,
day.
we know in a lot of ways,
Unfortunately.
Steph, the stories have come out, okay? And listen, the original five were the original five. How that came about, we may never know all the
Yeah.
backdoor dealings, but we do know that there were backdoor dealings that we didn't know about 3 years ago because they've come out in recent stories, to that extent. So I just salute you guys for your, once again, integrity of keeping that license and actually going through with it, and your tenaciousness.
But I think that's a huge marketing tool because, like, honestly, rather than going from some huge conglomerate now that's formed and had those back deals, here you have an honest family that's hardworking from Florida based, doing it the right way. I think it's a great story. And I think a lot of like veterans, and I think a lot of people who are like pro small business, and again, it's integrity, and kudos to your family for sticking to your guns and suing them and doing the right thing and still like persevering and continuing with the
Because
company.
Steph
Great job,
Steph
really.
won't say this, but I will. They could have flipped this license for
Yeah,
40
of
to 50
course,
million
like they
dollars. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so to me, it's getting your hands dirty, Steph. Seriously, in the dirt, and your family's doing what they're doing. So, kudos to you guys. And you're still in the delivery phase, of course. One of the unique things about Florida, of course, Ruta.
Yeah,
Right.
if
Go
you
ahead.
could, no,
Sure.
actually, if you can address like some of the barriers to entry, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, they think whether it's easy or expensive, there's a lot of barriers to entry. So can you kind of go over what you guys experience outside of obviously this one issue, but in general, like from, growing the product to actually, having to manufacture, to sell, you have to go through the whole gamut because Florida is a seed to sale state for those that don't know, because we have listeners that aren't Florida based.
Yeah, so we're seed to sale, so we have to do everything by law, which sounds amazing, but it also has its challenges because something as simple as delivery, if there was other companies that already have a well-established logistics and teams and all that, it would be so much easier for us to just sell it to them for them to distribute. So it just adds a lot of complexity that we have to be able to manage everything. And one thing I did want to touch is learning from my brother and really learning from our patients of how important. I've really have learned so much of the benefits of the health benefits of it. And so to us, we, again, with our budget, we have to focus on certain things first. So to us, the medicine is in the flower. So we are completely flower right now because we wanted to perfect flower. And if we did a really good job at flower, we knew the rest of our products would be amazing as well. So we're 100% delivery only right now, and we're only flower, but we're building a bigger facility that will be able to accommodate other things for us to hopefully by the end of the year. But as you mentioned about to go into entry, there have hurdles. One of them is even dispensaries. So we are finally ready to do a dispensary, but it's still with building codes and this and that, and it's still taking what we hope to be 4 months turns into 8 months. So we're still delivery only, and we're trying to expand on that of doing in the Southeast, we're next day delivery. If you order by 6 p.m., we'll deliver it to you the next day. The West Coast, we're there 2 to 3 times a week. And we really, that market is one of our best ones that I kind of want to open up to a couple more days a week to make it more of a convenient thing since we are only delivery.
Venice. Come on, let's go. Yeah, listen, we have dispensaries all around us. We have one here in Venice, and we want more. So they're building all kinds of new strip centers on every exit around
Venice,
here.
and you know what?
But they're tough. They're tough.
It's tough, but it pulls this area actually from a marketing perspective. It pulls from a lot of regions. So we pull from Northport, Port Charlotte. We pull from Sarasota. So it's a fairly large market down here. So,
but we've been proud to make sure that our patients know about
every
Flowery,
and in
every
fact
every
we try,
MMTC.
and so yeah, every MMTC, every dispensary. So
and it's going to be interesting, as you know, Steph, because with every 100,000 patients here in the state of Florida, we're given 4 more dispensary organizations, so to speak, right? And the OMU, as you know, of course, has not been allotting, those extra licensures because of various, lawsuits. And listen, anytime you're involved in a lawsuit, you guys had to obviously go through many steps to get to where you're at.
And the expense. And the
the
thing
expense.
is you're
and
already
the
a startup
expense.
business. And
It's
like she said,
incredible.
you have a startup. So you have all these other places where you could put money rather than put it into legal fees. You'd rather open a distribution center or a dispensary or something else. And there's so many more practicalities of money than putting it on attorneys just to get your rights. It's
And I think
awful.
Steph's one point is so interesting because you can't advertise in a traditional way,
No.
right? And that's why, once again, we're proud in our display room to make sure that our, patients know about the
And that's why-
MMTCs.
And that's why we love the green room, because it gives us an opportunity. It's our own platform. We can
Right.
discuss, cannabis openly without being dinged by Facebook or anywhere shut down permanently, because we've been through that.
So Florida's Florida. So Florida's Florida, and it's a seasonal thing too, Steph. The challenge of growing cannabis in the state of Florida. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, so we are 100% indoor. There is not, a lot of the other dispensaries have bow huts where it's like semi-indoor, outdoor. We're 100% indoor. There's still, the humidity still has an impact, even in inside buildings, but nowhere near that it would on the outside. But that is something my brothers have been doing literally their whole lives, is growing plants. So a lot of these Californian or Oregon or Colorado people come out and they just don't grasp the concept of how bad the humidity is in Florida. So that is one benefit that we have, just because of our extensive background in growing in Florida.
Sure.
That's really true.
Have you guys been looking at various cultivars that have CBD and THC combinations? Have you started to focus on some of the other minor cannabinoids to see if you can kind of enhance the medicinal quality, of your flower? And that's really one of the things that has always impressed me about the Flowery Ruta, is that they really wanted to perfect that base of their biz, which is the growing of the flower.
Growing because they're nurseries of
Right.
families. So
And
it makes sense.
It does. And to me,
Yeah.
it's truly the botanists that are the heroes
They are,
in a lot of
especially-
ways. And to me, I get so frustrated when I hear the politicians
Mhm.
talk about cannabis as being a genetically engineered
Mhm.
product. I know, Steph, you followed very closely the 10% THC cap debate in this past legislative session, which would have been an unbelievable disaster for every MMTC. Of course, yours being flower-based only. Could you only imagine?
Oh, we would have cried, like, actually.
Right. So just getting back to it, I know you have experts on the botany side. Are you guys looking at those type of combinations of the various cannabinoids and
Yeah.
trying to enhance things and the terpene profiles and things of that
Yeah.
nature?
Yes, and my husband has gotten involved, in one of his partners, and another anesthesiologist that you get it, they're scientists, and so they've kind of put some advice, and so when we're building out this new facility, we've got some super exciting stuff that no one's doing right now that we're super pumped about, that we can't release quite yet. But yes, long story short, we are looking at to cool things
Because I
like
think
that.
from the medical side, that's where we're going for sure. We need to be able to demonstrate to those that still don't believe in it that this is where we're going. And listen, it's so tough in the pharma world, Ruta, because they want to isolate all these different cannabinoids.
Yeah,
they do. They want to do singular, molecular studies, where we know it's the beauty of the entire plant, right? That's really where the focus, should be. I know you were saying, Steph, also that you're going to build out a little bit in your new facility into, do you think oils, or do you think more edibles would be a logical next step for a company like yours? That's something, I'll be honest with you, it's a question I've never even thought to ask anybody. So if it's proprietary, don't answer it. But is there a logical way to go forth from flower that seems to be better in this market? Have you guys looked at that at all?
We're going to do a wide variety of things, to be honest, and having now a test facility that will be able to, our current facility will turn into our test facility, our R&D, and then the big facility will be the big boys. But we're going to have a wide variety of stuff. I would say all of that, to be honest. And then again, Jeff bringing that medical background, we're going to do some of these things that are going to mix what that's more of a real medicine with a combination, basically, whether it's the way you consume it or the type of product, the mixture of the product, not bringing in, making the terpenes actually from the plant, not adding terpenes from other things. We're going to stay as natural as possible.
Yeah, the connoisseur also always wants cannabis-derived terpenes. And of course, coming out of the alcohol space also, I think it's going to be interesting to see as things develop, who is able to and how they get that figured out. A combination of maybe, and it's been done already, beer and cannabis.
But you know what
I'm not in favor of that necessarily, but people are going to go that direction.
One of the things that I like that you mentioned, and especially coming from, having a medical background, is I like the fact that you're keeping it medical and you're expanding it on a medical side where you guys are actually going to be looking at it, like she said, as a medicine. And maybe because your husband, Jeff, he has that, he's a physician and wants to extract all the medicine that is in the plant rather than just making it, it's recreational, everybody, and that's it. You guys are still focusing on the medicine going forward, which is awesome. I love that.
I mean, even if it does become recreational, we will always have a focus. Yes, always.
Yeah.
Which is why we'll always be partners to the extent that that's our fight. As we go forward towards legal adult use, we need to maintain the quality and the integrity of our medical product.
Absolutely.
And, that's always going to be the bottom line. Jeff actually, even though he's an anesthesiologist, actually is a pain management clinician, correct, Steph?
Correct. And he's been on the forefront of opiate reduction. And I mean, he goes all over the country to get. Yep. Also, he goes to hospitals and teaches them how to reduce their opiate prescriptions and how to have a new game plan on executing and when to and when not to and other alternatives instead of doing that. So to him, this is just so in line with what he's doing. It's been a really eye-opening past year, to be honest. It's very, very cool and very exciting. And that's another reason why we always want to keep a medical side of it, no matter what, because I think if you keep it serious, then people are educated about it, because I was never anti, I just had no idea. And so I think that's a huge part of this, is just educating people on why and what forms and what's good for this or that is very interesting. And I think just really amazing.
Yeah. The Dr. Steph Frohock of the world, who is your medical director, by the way.
Yes.
Flowery, correct? No, listen.
Poor family.
I got it. No, listen, post-COVID, and I mean it. He's the kind of guy that we need to get out there, okay? And me, Ruta, I like to be the Johnny Appleseed of the cannabis space, but he's the kind of guy that we need to, and listen, this is a great fishing family too. So I know Steph's mom. Steph's mom is lovely. I met her lovely daughter too. And listen, and down in the Keys, there's a wonderful special little place, where it's all things flowery. But the point is, Jeff is the type of guy that post-COVID, we need to reel him into the space and make sure that he's preaching that message here in Florida from the pain management and opiate reduction side of things. As a physician who's done that, who's not even a Florida-based clinician necessarily. And so thank you. And listen, maybe we'll grab him for a future green room. Oh, for sure.
I was going to say it would be kind of cool.
No doubt, just to speak about that specific opioid reduction and pain management, because we're still fighting that, here in Florida, still not necessarily accepted for that purpose because of that stupid, silly little asterisk that we all know talks about chronic pain. But Steph, thank you so much for everything this morning. And listen, tell everybody how they can order from the Flowery and connect with you guys. I know you have an excellent website. Great.
Yeah, we still have, I think, a couple minutes.
Oh, good. I just saw it. I'm holding something up over there.
Yeah. We have a few minutes left. So can you give us a projection of when do you see you guys opening a dispensary, and when you might be starting to roll out other products besides flower? Any kind of a timeline?
Yes. So by the end of the year, we'll have concentrates and some other super exciting items. And then our dispensary, I thought was going to be towards the end of this year. It's in Miami, so it's actually the city trying to get all of the permits and all of that. So it's actually
Of course.
Yeah.
like January, unfortunately. But right after that one is released, then the next ones will be quickly after, because we'll have the product. Right now, we're just so tiny. I mean, we built our facility and we had 30 days, and my brothers built it in 29 days. So with the joke is with a lot of blood, sweat, and a 6-pack of beer. So right now we just don't have enough product to be able to have a bunch of dispensaries. So once the new facility is up and running, that first dispensary will be up hopefully in January, and then 2 more after that quickly.
And I think this is one of the things that bothers me about this state, though, because we do have an industry, but they make it so top heavy for investment, like out front. Like if you think about, I mean, I can't even imagine having an R&D department, having to have a manufacturing, all of that, like never mind the growing of the plant in a contained environment. You're talking millions and millions of dollars up front before you see any return. So, I mean, again, kudos to your family for sticking to your guns and being a family run business, because that's not easy. That's a massive.
I mean, we do have partners, so it's not like, I mean, we're not that, like, we did not come from that much money, but I mean, it's just like any business. You get a loan, but you can't get loans in this industry. So yes, we have amazing partners that are basically family to us. So, but we run everything, we grow everything. So to us, and I even, one of our quotes is being part of the Flowery family. Dr. Gordon's part of the Flowery family. To us, family goes beyond blood, and to us it's like once Dr. Gordon can understand, like once you meet us and you become friends with us, you're really part of us. And so that's how we feel of our partners and our patients and anyone that works that's part of our team.
Listen, and right back at you. I want to bring up one thing though, Ruta, because it's really, really important, Steph. And it's one of the things that, Ruta, the patients complain most about. It's consistency and availability of product. So I think you're very wise in not overscaling too early before you know that you have the quality of your product and the consistency of your product. It is the number one complaint of patients. Let me tell you one other thing, and I want to give you good reassurance. What I know, because the patients tell me, is that even when you have gorillas in the space, okay, and others that are established in the space, when you open a new dispensary, if the products are quality, your locals will go to you first. Those that are close to you will use you. They'll know you, they'll know your med tenders, they'll know your products, and they'll get comfortable with you. So I know it can be daunting coming into a space with all the competition as it is, but maintain your quality and consistency, which is why I wanted to pop in there, because you said it, I didn't say it. So I salute you for that philosophy, because it's really important to the patients.
Thank you. And it was like we did it with tact, like it was on purpose.
So if somebody wants to get flower, how can they get it now? Say in Venice, and how so if they can?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, and then like every third Saturday, we're on the West Coast. So we might increase the Saturday to every other Saturday for the West Coast. So if you order by 6 p.m. the evening before, so by Monday, you'll get it on Tuesday. By Wednesday, you'll get it on Thursday, and then order by 6 p.m. on Friday, and you'll get it Saturday.
Excellent.
At a website, yes.
That is a little tricky, and I've been fighting for the .com, but I have not been able to win it. But our website is The Flowery, so that's the flower with the Y at the end, .co. So .co, not .com. So theflowery.co, and we do free delivery as well.
Oh, excellent.
Fantastic. And, once again, no, it's all good. And when the patients come through our clinic, of course, they get a wonderful handout, with that website on there. And it's easy, everybody. And listen, for those watching that are in the Florida program, take advantage of the websites, of the MMTCs, new and old. That's how you really know what's going on. And it's been such a pleasure to feature you this morning, Steph, for all the reasons that you didn't even know, Ruta, seriously. And such a beautiful story about their family.
Yeah, great story.
Once again, and thank you for your brother's service and our condolences on his loss. But, once again, the inspiration and the passion that you guys bring to the space inspires all of us.
Thank you so much. And we do offer 20% off first timers, and veterans are 25% off always. And we have seniors and all the other discounts that everyone else has as well. And
Fantastic.
for our loyalty page as well. And we send out sales and letting you know when our new strains drop and all of that good stuff.
Fantastic.
Perfect. Well, listen, thanks, Steph, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe and healthy. Good luck with your daughter starting kindergarten in a couple weeks, and everybody stay safe. But it's great to see you from afar. Can't wait to see you in person. Give you that advocate's hug.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This is an absolute pleasure, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Green Room.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.